Chapter 2. The man, along with his guards, bows to me. And then he says, as they straighten themselves, "Forgive me for not having returned sooner. I had wished to be present for when you awoke, but our captain had need of me elsewhere. As for who we are, well, I am Zan, and these are your personal guards. The reasons for where and why you are here is not for me to explain. But know this, that no harm shall come to you." I stand there waiting for him to say more. When he did not and began to approach me, I said, "I demand to know why you have brought me here." Zan shakes his head. "My lady, please understand that you will be explained everything shortly. For now, I must run some tests." I ask, "What test?" "You're not running any alien tests on me." I look around for some kind of weapon and find nothing. Only a large book that is in a strange alien language. Holding it like a bat, I exclaim, "Don't come any closer or I'll hit you." Write a whole lot of damage that will do, Dorothy. I think to myself, he steps and raises his hands, saying, "There is no need for fear, my lady. The tests I wish to do are only to make sure you are completely healthy. That is all, as well as a simple communication device that will allow you to speak with our people and they you." "Who are your people?" I calmly ask as I lower the book a little. He sighs, saying, "I wish I could explain everything to you, but as I said before I exclaim, I know it's not your place. Well, is there anything that you can tell me?" He looks at me apologetically with his eerie pale eyes. "If I refuse to do these tests, will you force me?" I ask. "No, force would never be used," he said in shock. "Like that would be unheard of. But you will not be allowed to leave the medical room until the tests are carried out. It is for our people's well-being as well as yours." I set the book back on the table. I nod at him, realizing I would have to cooperate if I wanted answers. He smiles at me, saying, "You are as brave as we have all hoped." He seems to want to say more, but does not. Zan motions me to take a seat on the chair next to the table. He picks up a tube-like device with small lights on it, explaining to me that it is a type of scanner similar to the X-ray machines on Earth, but far more advanced. After scanning me, he picks up another device. It is a metallic silver-like metal tube, more slimmer than the others, without any lights. He smiles at me. "This is how I will draw some blood. You will only feel a numbing feeling, and that is all. It is quite painless, my lady," and then presses the device to my upper arm. He then pulls it away and looks at the side. He smiles at me, exclaiming, "You are in perfect health." I ask him, "Where is the blood?" He explains to me that the device only requires a drop of blood, and from that it can tell him everything he needs to know. After inserting the communication device, which is a nano-sized chip, behind my ear, he nods and smiles at me. "I will return shortly. Your guards will be right outside if you need anything." With that, he turns and leaves the room. I sat there confused and yet relieved that they didn't seem to want to hurt me. I looked down at my pajamas, wondering what time it was on Earth. I try not to think about all the negative reasons for why they would have brought me to this world. I walk over to the window, hugging myself. I think of escape, but where would I go? I look back on my 40 years, thinking of all the things I have and haven't done. I had a nice apartment to call home, a good job that paid the bills, but I could have been so much more. I could have done so much more. I have an IQ way above normal. I had went through high school and college while still in my teens. I could have done anything, but I hadn't. I had no family or friends, which was how I preferred it. I had learned in my youth not to rely on anyone else. That being passed from one foster family to another was to blame for the person I had become. But I knew that I had chosen not to trust anyone, that I didn't want to be hurt anymore. Now I'm here on this planet wishing I had let someone into my little circle. wishing there was someone back on earth that would even notice I was gone, that would even care. I sigh, squaring my shoulders. I have to stay strong. Whatever I'm fixing to face, I have to keep my wits about me. Although these beings seem to wish me no harm, they brought me here for a reason, and until I know what that is, I have to be careful. I turn back around at the sound of the door sliding open. Zan steps inside, followed by two beautiful twin females. They're both wearing elegant gowns with brooches attached to their straps. Zan speaks as he motions to the female on his right. This is Sarah, and then to his left, and this is Zara. They shall show you to your room and assist you in preparing for dinner. I will escort you to see our captain once you are ready. With that, he bows and then turns, leaving the lab. Not giving me a chance to ask him anything, the women both bow towards me. Sarah speaks first. My lady, shall we show you to your room? She smiles at me, waiting for my answer. I nod, mumbling, doesn't look like I have any other choice. Sarah asks, what was that, my lady? I smile, saying, lead the way. My name is Dorothy, so you don't have to call me my lady. They look at each other, then smile shyly at me. They reply, yes, my lady. They turn to walk out of the room with me following close behind. I felt more like a prisoner than a guest as the two tall guards close in behind me. We continue walking down the hall and get onto an elevator. The ride was so smooth I couldn't tell whether we were traveling up or down. The doors slide quickly open without making a sound. We step out into the multiple hallway. As we walk down it, everyone else stops walking, bowing as we pass by them. It was so odd. I guess it is some kind of strange custom of theirs, I think to myself. Sarah comes to a stop at an elaborate marked door. She waves her hand in front of the panel. That's on the right side. And the doors slide open. Sarah and Zara step aside, allowing me to step inside first. They follow me inside with the guards remaining outside the entrance. This is my room? I ask in shock. They both smile, saying together, yes. The room was very large with a beautiful carved bed. The carving was similar to the pictures on the brooches that the women and guards were wearing. Images of a bear, half-lizard creature was carved into the wall. The creature was even shown flying in some of the carvings. I hope this is not a real animal, I exclaim out loud. Sarah answers me. Oh, the arthropods are very real, my lady. But there is no reason to fear them. They are much like the animals you call, what is the word? Oh yes, horses. They're plant eaters as well, even though their appearance would lead one to think otherwise. I shiver at the thought, although part of me would love to see one. I shake my head at that as I turn to look at the women. I smile at them. Zara speaks. My lady, I shall go prepare your bath. She then turns, walking over to a small panel, waving her hand in front of it. She then disappears into another room. Sarah gently takes me by the hand and guides me towards another door. The doors slide open, revealing a large closet full of beautiful dresses. She begins to look through them, pausing once in a while to glance at me, then back at the dresses. She finally stops at a dress that is a lovely green. She smiles, saying, this is the one. It matches your eyes perfectly. She walks out of the closet and lays the dress across the bed.